Welcome back to the rest of the story. I figured everybody, or the people that are interested in the cattle around here, are probably wondering how the Holsteins are doing. Now, for the most part, everybody's eating really well. I mean, don't mind these guys. I just picked 3 that look like him. Well, him and 2 more. Locally, I got a good deal on them, so I picked them up. They're all red Holstein steers. They've already been worked and everything, and got them mixed in with Dad's here, and you really can't tell them apart. They are eating hay. They're eating grain really well. I pretty well got them up to what are they getting? 5 buckets a day, 32 pounds approximately a bucket, and divide that by about 30 calves. I think that's what we're sitting at in here right now. 30 or 29, might be 31. They're doing good. They're over that post weaning kind of funk that they get in, and I think they'll do all right. The weather is kind of helping. It's supposed to be nice this whole week, as in I don't think it's supposed to get to freezing during the day at all. I think it's supposed to be high 30s. First part of the week it's supposed to be at low 40s, and then it's going to slowly taper off to the high 30s throughout the day. And then I think they're saying a chance of rain. I mean, we aren't seeing a chance of even snow. The next chance of snow at all currently is Christmas Day. So I'm perfectly fine with going until April without getting any snow. I'm one of those types. I mean, a white Christmas doesn't mean much to me, because other than the people that like to play in it, snow, it just adds another factor of your day that you got to deal with, whether it be slick roads or slick ice or chipping ice away from the waters and all that stuff. And I'm perfectly content with this being our winter. And to be quite honest, with the closer we get to the first of the year without any snow and having to deal with it, I mean, it makes the winter that much shorter. I mean, I'm definitely not a winter person. I'm not a cold person. So these guys are doing pretty good as far as their bed pack. We are probably looking at having to clean that out probably first part of January. And we always have this problem right here where they like to pull the hay out of the hay feeder, away from the hay bunk, and then they stand on it, and then it gets shifted back, and you get a nice pile of manure right behind them. Happens every year. We got to run these calves through the chute. They got to be vaccinated, and they all had their horns removed and had a band put on them. So these guys are officially steers. They're no longer bulls. And hopefully, well, we feed them probably up through April. We're probably looking at late April, late May, maybe early June, depending on how big we're gonna raise them up to. So these other guys out here, if you can see the other group of steers, they're doing really good, as in they're probably 500-600 pounds already. They're getting their grain, well, same thing, similar to these guys, not exactly the same thing. And they have to be run through the chute, and they have to be either banded or cut, because they're all bulls right now. And they have to be vaccinated and everything and worked before we can sell them. Now, I do know there is a class that farmers are supposed to start taking now to sell cattle for processing. No one's really, I'm just starting to hear about it now, and no one's really been able to tell me too much about it. All I'm hearing is, well, you have to get it done, you have to do it, or you can't sell cattle by this date. Well, the thing is, what I'm reading between the lines is, you don't need to technically have it or take the class if you're not selling them as finished cattle. We're selling ours as feeders. And I've asked that, and no one has really been able to tell me whether or not that pertains to it or not, as long as we keep selling ours at anywhere from that 500 to 800 pound weight. if we have to take the class. It doesn't sound like it's anything too horrific. My friend's taking the class, or either did take the class or has to take it yet. And I guess after he takes it, he can kind of inform me as far as what they all have to tell you. The long and the short of it, from what I've been told, is it's a class to teach farmers how to properly raise their cattle, or to make sure their cattle are raised happily or something like that. Depending on who I talk to, it's a different description to everybody I talk to. Basically what everybody's telling me as far as the older farmers is, they're trying to tell these older guys that have been raising cattle for their whole lives how to change how they raise them now. And like everybody's saying, I don't know if they really expect farmers are going to change how they take care of their cattle now just because of one class. Because I think it's online, you can take it, or there is a hands-on class, which I think it's just one like 2 or 3 hour course, class, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just now starting to hear about it, so it's just another step or a hoop you got to jump through to farm. It's, I guess you could call it just another hassle, because now you're expected to take a class once a year or twice a year. Like I said, you guys will probably hear more about it when I actually hear more of the details about it. I mean, the first I even heard about it is the fact that I was talking about selling these guys next spring, and my friend's like, well, did you sign up for the class you have to take? And that was completely new to me, and I haven't heard anything about it. And anybody that's wondering about bottle calves, there are no plans currently to get you more bottle calves for the time being. I don't even know what they're going for. I heard they're cheap. We got some guys, just like I said before, pneumonia is something that we're trying to avoid. We haven't gotten anybody that's gotten a full out case of pneumonia yet, but that's really what we're worrying about right now, as far as hoping they don't get sick and trying to stay ahead of them, keeping them dry and everything. And the fluctuations in the temperature don't exactly help either. I mean, we had single digits and in the teens as far as the weather goes during harvest, and that's when these guys were out here. Like, we just weaned them out, and then now that harvest has been done for 3-4 weeks, it's actually starting to warm up and do this right now. It's actually pretty nice out, but it's hard on cattle. Everybody that knows anything about animals in general, when the weather fluctuates 20-30 degrees, they can't take off all their clothing like we can. They're stuck with what they got. As far as bottle calves go, there aren't any current plans to do bottle calves. I mean, if we do, I'm sure you guys will probably know. I last checked the market report for last week, and there wasn't any test at all for bottle calves. I don't know if they just didn't get any in. I haven't actually talked to anybody at the sales barn. I just go to the online report. So I don't know, $30, $50 calves. They're cheap to buy, but it's the time and energy and feed and everything you got to put into them to get them to finish weight. So just because they're cheap to initially buy, there's a lot that has to go into them to get them up to where you can sell them. And you're tying up a lot of money too, hoping that you're gonna turn a profit. This guy just can't leave me alone. Hey, dude. And one last quick subject before I end this video. As far as any natural predators we have for our animals around here, we don't have like bear or any big cats or anything like that. Our biggest ones we worry about are coyote, and mainly that's it as far as the cattle go. Coyote, it's been a while. Somebody has reported, I mean, it's probably been a couple of years that I can remember where we've had reports of wolves in the area. But normally what we end up seeing is, I had a coyote run through my house yard 2 weeks ago, and Brittany completely freaked out because she's worried about her dogs there and whatever else. And coyote in a group, they will go after your house dogs. My neighbor, they had their dog tied up to their doghouse, or to its doghouse, and overnight a pack of coyotes, however many, surrounded it and killed it and ate it. They found what was left of it on the leash that next morning. So coyote are a big issue. Raccoon, possum. I'm definitely for like mom's chickens. Mom has, what, probably 30-40 chickens at the house that she worries about with the smaller predators going after them. But we're fortunate enough in that way that we don't have too many that we have to worry about. But we're not as bad as Wes, where he's got to worry about coyotes just to walk out in the woods. Maybe we should be, I don't know. My friend, I was growing up, and my friend heard a coyote howl when we were out in the woods in the four-wheelers one night, and he was ready to call it a night, just because he was on edge about them. Well, I've never had any issues like that, where I've grown up here my whole life in this area, and as far as having to worry about natural predators coming after me, I'm not too overly worried about it. I mean, we probably have a better chance in this area. We probably have a better chance of getting hurt or something, having any kind of damage from deer, than we would predators anymore. Deer, mainly because they're moving so much in the fall, in the summer, hitting them on the roads. My friend has a really good statistic. He bought a brand new truck. I think he hit a deer within a week of buying his truck. I mean, it wasn't brand new, but it was a nice, the Dirty Max, you hear us talk about that. It's that, was it a 12 or a 13 Duramax? He brought it home. I think within a week or two of buying it, he hit a deer, took it in, had it fixed at the garage that he works at, or not works at, in the same town where he works. So he picked it up. Somebody from work drove him over to the shop, picked it up, he drove it home, and driving it home, he hit another deer, and he really messed up the front end of his truck the second time. And that is why he's got that big cattle guard deer processor on the front of his truck. And lo and behold, he hasn't hit a deer since. So if you just want to make certain that you're never going to hit a deer, put the money into your vehicles to buy a big guard on the front, and you're guaranteed to never hit a deer ever again. All right, guys, I better get going because I can't hear the bobcat running anymore. So until next time, take care, take it easy, keep in touch, stay warm, or enjoy the nice weather like we have right now. It was 57 degrees out yesterday, and if you can tell, I'm wearing my overalls now. It's not quite that warm right now, but that sun's out, and it's really starting to feel like it's warming up. So talk to you guys later. Bye.